We are at the home of everything Frederick, and I am with Greg's dad, Gary Morton. How are you, sir?
I'm
It is
great.
a pleasure
I'm great.
to speak with you.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so you guys were highlighted in Frederick Lifestyle.
Yeah.
June issue, the
That's
dad
right.
issue.
Yeah.
What? I haven't met your other son, so I can't speak on him yet, but your
Right.
son is fascinating and an amazing human.
Thank you.
And really just puts it all out there. I have a
Yeah.
feeling the apple didn't fall far from the tree on that one. So you retired with the Frederick County Sheriff's Office.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes. 2015. After awesome 35 years with the sheriff's office, and started as a young man right out of high school, working corrections over here on South Street.
Yeah.
At the old jail, and spent a year down at the new jail. And Bob Snyder, who was sheriff at that point in time, gave me an opportunity to go to the police academy and become a deputy sheriff. And I spent the next 30 years of my career, as a sworn officer here in Frederick County, and watching Frederick grow in many different ways.
Yeah,
but
sure.
meeting a lot of people and and serving our community here. So
And this is truly your home. You grew up right here downtown.
I did.
Yeah, and have literally watched Frederick change over.
Yes, I have.
A few years.
Grew up down here on 3rd Street.
Yeah.
As a young man walking these streets to head out to Thomas Johnson as I went to walk to school.
Go Patriots.
Elm Street School.
Yeah.
My mom worked in the cafeteria. Finished up 6th grade and then went to TJ and graduated in 79. Lots of memories.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. A lot of
Yeah.
great memories. A lot of great memories. 30 some years in the Sheriff's Department. That's a good run. How do you feel about staying for that long? And do you feel like anything came out of it that you're like, okay, that it was a purpose. There was a purpose in me being there.
Yeah, growing up, I had this desire to serve in some capacity here in Frederick, to give back. And, I was a life member at Junior Fire Company up the street here on North Market Street. At that point in time, the city wasn't, this whole county wasn't a career county. And the door opened up to get my, my feet in the door with the sheriff's office. I got a taste of law enforcement as a law enforcement explorer.
Greg
part of
was
scouting.
talking
So
about that.
Greg did it too.
I know.
And,
I didn't even know that existed. Actually, that's so cool.
It was so cool. I remember being a young 16-year-old explorer at the Frederick Police Department here, which was up here on North Market Street at that point in time, had the program, and we had uniforms. We met throughout the week. We learned the laws. We just learned a lot of stuff. But I remember the first time I rode in a police car. And just the excitement of, being downtown, running lights and siren as a 16-year-old. I'm like,
nothing's better.
I want to drive. I just want to do this. But it just kind of got in my blood. And
gave the circuit a whole new meaning, didn't it?
It lit me up, and it was one of those things that I'm like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
So. 18, you certainly couldn't be a police officer at that point in time, but corrections was an outlet just to get my foot in the door. And so I got into that, and I 35 years on the sheriff's office, and coming up through the different segments of the department, as you grow with the department, learning a lot of different areas of law enforcement, whether it be in the traffic unit. I actually spent 5 years as a canine handler, which was one of my greatest positions I think I ever held. Having a dog in the car with you, licking you in your ear, and just being your partner, and being able to use that specialty, that tool to help other officers out. I'm very fortunate to have such a strong-willed and powerful woman as my wife to be willing to take that journey with me.
That's right.
But she's always supported.
Stuck with you over
she's
40
stuck with me
years.
40 years of marriage now. Yeah.
Pretty good. That's
it's been, we just celebrated 40 years of marriage, and, Stacy went to Frederick High. Don't hold that.
We still like her. It's okay.
Yeah, Frederick High, I love her to death, and she's been a blessing to me and my boys. I've always felt like it was a blessing to be a dad, and of course being a mom. And then we get we get icing on the cake to be a grandparent now. So
yeah, you can rev them right up and hand them back.
and turn them over to their dads and moms. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. What would you say to somebody who had never been to Frederick before and is here now? Like, what would be kind of the top things you'd say you have to do while you're here?
Well, being downtown here, just all the outlets, the different places for entertainment, Frederick is it's just such a close-knit community. I mean, like, you walk downtown, I remember walking downtown here and people knew each other by names. It's kind of a little bit different because we got a lot of people that have moved in here, but, it's just welcoming.
Yeah.
It's a warm, atmosphere to come here and to live in Frederick. I've loved, being a police officer here and getting to know the people that, that are here. Certainly has grown a lot. I've watched farm fields and things like that disappear that are cities now.
Yeah.
But Frederick's a great place. I mean, lots of things to do here.
Now, you were telling me about a camp.
Yeah.
That you have an affiliation with. Tell me a little bit about it.
So when I retired in 2015, I used to teach youth ministries at our church. My wife was part of it, and we were like, what is it that we can do that we could give back to a community, and especially in the youth area? A friend of mine who's been a pastor in Frederick County here in Frederick for like more than 30 years, had a church at one point in time over on Jefferson Street, was a youth pastor there, which my sons were participating in, Damon Albert, and him and his wife have had a heart for at-risk kids for a long time. And so, Damon had called me up, a couple months after I retired, and he said, hey, we just purchased 80 acres of ground in Hedgesville, West Virginia, and we're going to plant a camp here. They used to do all these camps and things like this as a part of their ministry and invite kids from the city here, a lot of county kids. Now it's expanded out to Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, and PA.
Holy cow.
So we're serving a variety of children throughout this 4-state region right here. It's a camp up in the mountains that, started about 6.5 years ago. And so it was answered prayer for us because we wanted something to be able to give back and share, the gospel.
Have an impact.
Have an impact in some lives and sow a sense of hope in some kids that are coming from some pretty broken backgrounds.
Yeah.
And, when you're looking at child abuse and substance abuse in families and, one parent outlets, just the struggles that come with that. And then you have, parents that have died from, drug overdoses. We've had kids at age 4 that were abused, in a terrible way to supply their parents' drug habits. And so Stacy and I got involved with this. Brad, my younger son, him and his wife, they got involved in it as well. And, so we've been a part of the board. And then, we come up to the mountain with an expectation that, we're going to pour, a biblical foundation into these kids, get them away from them the brokenness and the traumas of their homes.
Yeah.
And, we're hoping that by the time they leave on at the end of the camp, that there's a supernatural work that takes place.
Yeah.
And I have seen this, I'm telling you, Danny, so many times where we've had kids come up and weep over the loss of a parent, finding their moms or their dads in the bathroom with needles still in their arms. Kids that have just been sexually abused, physically abused, and then just a sense of brokenness and nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And when they leave the mountain, see a complete change.
That's amazing.
Because not only do we share the Word of God with them and sow seeds into them and try to encourage and plant a sense of hope and love them. And show them what love truly is. And
exactly.
they see us as police officers when they come up there, and sometimes it's a little intimidating.
Yeah.
Like when they look at us, this guy's a cop. But to see not me, but see who dwells in
Right,
me,
right.
in Christ, I get a chance to share the love of Jesus with people.
Yeah.
And I've seen kids get up in the middle of the night praising God
No.
for the opportunities that they had. And then there's times when, in conversations with the kids that you have to walk away because I had to go around a corner and just cry.
Yeah.
Because it hurts that much.
Yeah.
But I'm so thankful that I have the opportunity to, pour into the kids
Yeah.
and do something that we had a heart to want to do.
Yeah.
And then to share it with, Damon Albert and his wife, who are, the directors of the camp, the owners of the property. It's a nonprofit, been going for about 6 years. CampEzri.org is our website. It's got applications on there for families if they desire. Sometimes it's grandparents watching these kids
Right.
that have been taken away from their families.
Yeah.
We have a link that you can come on, fill out an application. We serve kids from 8 to 17. We try to keep them in the same age group so that they can relate to each other
Yeah.
and not be intimidated by an 8-year-old with a 17-year-old.
Right, exactly.
And hey, it's a lot of tent sleeping and sitting around campfires, listening to the bears and the coyotes howl at nighttime.
Yeah.
But it's getting them away from their homes, taking them away from playing PlayStations
Devices,
for
yep.
8, 10, 12 hours a day, and bringing them up and just opening them up to a place on the mountain and
Nature.
a chance just to open up and change.
Yes, yeah. So there's your son might have shared a little bit with me that you may not be done yet. Is that something you're willing to share?
Yeah, a while back, speaking to some of the men and women of the sheriff's office and a few other people in the county that I'm still pretty close to this day, the question was posed to me about if I'd ever considered running for sheriff. And I initially I was like, nah, I don't think so. But as time has gone on, it's been 9 years since I retired. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of things in my heart that I would love to see implemented in the everyday work of being a police officer.
Yeah.
And not only that, but then serving as a sheriff.
Yeah.
You're open to the community. You need to be available to hear the community's call for help, be willing to take action, and play a big role in that.
Yeah.
And so, as I was telling you a little earlier, I was debating on this for quite some time. Had a chance, praying with my wife and having a couple of my friends, help me in that prayer thought.
Yeah.
And just in that prayer, I keep getting phone calls and asking if I would consider running for sheriff. And and a pastor once said, the only way to make changes in a dark area of this world is to step into the fire. I could sit home and whine about things,
right?
But there's no better action than to just jump up and jump in.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I am going to run for sheriff of Frederick County when the time comes for. All the announcements and the candidacies and placing my bid in for sheriff. I am going to run for that seat. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, look, I think that there's plenty of time to get into all that good stuff. But I always say people who are willing, law enforcement, period, service personnel who enlist, you guys step up, you really put yourselves on the line for us, for the greater community, and we are so appreciative, really, of all the service that you've done, your sons as well have done for this community.
Well, I love the men and women on the department. Every time I see a police officer, whether they're Frederick PD, State Police, Thurmont, Brunswick, the thing is, it's a different uniform, but serving the same purpose.
Sure.
And just the teamwork and the love that they have, the compassion that they have for people. That's where I'm at. But I truly have had a compassion for the men and women in the uniform since I left. And if I could come back and be a part of that team again, and help to bring some positive points to the department again, I would love to serve as their sheriff. So we'll see where it goes.
Well, we will stay tuned for all of that. In the meantime, you might want to do a little research on this gentleman. Mr. Morton. Look, I tell you, what did you retire as? What was your?
I was a major.
Major.
Yeah, when I retired.
Yes, very good. He made it all the way. I love it. I love it. We're going to hear a lot more from him soon. This is Gary Morton. Thank you guys so much for watching.